So some maintenance that I need to do regularly from doing a lot of Aikido classes, including a lot of kids classes. Standing in Hanmi and having good alignment is great, but being able to make sure that you're moving the joints and stretching through the hip and through your abs all the way up through your side body, and also making sure that you've got good movement and blood flow, and that you're not just staying in this position all the time, right? So when you work with a lot of kids classes, the tendency is going to be that you need to get down to where they are. So this can cause a lot of contraction to stay kind of stuck and pent up in the low back and in the hips. So for instance, I might start with pedaling out my feet here, and then as you slowly start to bend, try to keep your back straight and hug your belly to your spine, which is like squeezing your stomach muscles in and releasing your shoulders. Taking your knee towards your toes while you're doing this. And then as you fold your torso forward, touch down with your fingertips and then start pressing your hips up and back. From here you can bend your knees towards your elbows. Let your head come up and forward, look forward, drop your hips down. If this is too much on your knees, just go right before it starts to be too much tension, and then go back to the straight leg. Widen your legs just a little bit more here. Turn your feet out at a 45-degree angle, like away from your center line, and then let your knees come down into this position here. And as you go, pressing your hands into the mat, widen your heels back out to a 90-degree so that your feet are both parallel. And then you can press down. You can shift your weight forward a little bit and start to get a big stretch across the back of your legs and hips too. And then bring your heels back in one more time. Now, once you get here, turning one foot so that it is almost like you're moving back into a Hanmi position here. But let this leg step out a little bit further and then drop all the way down. Or as far as you can. If this is as far as you can go for right now, don't judge it. Also, don't lock out the knee that's extended and flex your foot on the bottom. If you can drop all the way down, see if you can take the pressure out of your arms and then turn so that you are pushing your knee towards your foot on the bent leg. Again, being careful not to lock out your knee on this side. And then turn the toes that are upright down so that your feet are now parallel, and switch sides. And then back to center with your feet parallel. Turn your toes out to a 45. This is kind of a different type of squatting position because you're still leaning forward. And then walk your feet back towards each other. So from here, sometimes in Aikido classes, you're gonna see teachers move into knee circles or pressing the knees from one side to the other. Essentially, you're trying to still squeeze your belly to your spine and stretch along the outside of the thigh up towards the top of the hip bone. Trying to get more of a stretch along the outside of the glutes. And rotate in both circles, both directions. Right, and then dropping all the way down. If you extend your toes out, pick up the flesh to move it out of the way. Drag your leg back into the socket. And you can do some toe circles here. Rotate your feet in both directions. So, a couple different ways that you can get into. Very traditionally, see a lot of Aikido teachers bring almost to a reverse pigeon. So if we were this direction, head going towards, or I'm sorry, with the leg bent in front and down. This time, your leg would be crossed and in front. A couple different ways that you can take this. You can put your foot into your elbow and then put your hands together. You can just press using both hands. You can move from side to side, keeping this foot flexed on the bottom so that you can get a bigger stretch across the bottom glutes too. Or you can pick this leg up, grab both, put both hands on your feet or on your foot and drag your knee underneath your armpit, drag it back. So kick it out, drag it back, kick it out, drag it back. Now this is gonna get a little bit more into the inside leg muscles here too in your thigh, the inside of your thigh. And a little bit more into the top of the hip flexors. And again, keeping stable in with that hug your belly to your spine kind of cue is going to push your stomach or push your whole middle section forward and upright so that you're trying not to be doing all the work of dragging your foot back from just your shoulders, but actually as if you're pushing your torso forward as you bring your foot back, right? And then make sure that you do both sides. So it really doesn't matter the order that you do them. This might be a good place to start first. If this is too much, this is still fine right here. As you can see, you know, my range of motion is different on both sides, and that's, you know, we're all imperfect and you just have to be wherever you are today. But the fact that we're doing a little bit of the work along the way, you know, eventually progress will be there. So going from here, crossing the knee to the outside and the ankle in front of the knee on the bottom extended leg. Bottom extended leg still has toes flexed. Wrapping my fingers around my toes and moving in circles, both directions, while bending the toes back and forth. And really keeping this leg awake and stabilizing, pressing the hip of the leg that's bent down as well. It's very helpful. Keep you from losing your balance too. And then bending the toes forwards and backwards. Now, you could take your thumbs and press into the back of the calf muscles and kind of massage through those bellies right there too. And you can dig with your fingers just a little bit, but I encourage you, massage, it's not about how hard that you're pressing, it's about acknowledging the places where you do find tension and then finding a way to kind of say, oh, that's another spot I can let go. I have control over that. I can talk to it and I can try to let it go. So more than anything, you're just trying to introduce awareness into these areas, right? Then back to your foot. Grab toes with the same hand as whichever leg is in front of you. Take your knuckles very loosely like this. Let go across the bottom of the surface of your foot. And then shake it up, right? And then both sides. You'll kind of repeat the same motions. And now that you feel like you're starting to wake up, the parts of you that are going to be connecting your center to the ground, this is like waking up the circuit. So starting from your feet, and shake that up, right? So you might feel like you have a little bit more action, a little bit more blood flow moving around in your legs. So from here, you want to cross your legs and come up, or however it works for you to stand up. So another exercise for moving into the hips, especially for the outer flexors here. Touch down, walk your feet back. Keeping one leg with your heel up towards the ceiling. I'm going to use my other leg right here and drop my ankle to the outside, right? Drop it to the outside. So From here, I'm gonna put this one in front of me, underneath me. And I'm going to allow this ankle to drop. My stabilizer is the one that's in front of me. My knee is closer to my chest. Now, as this ankle rolls to the outside, I'm going to allow my hips and torso to drop down, right? So another angle, I'm here. Ankle drops down to the side. I want the entire outside of my leg from the root of the, from the attachment sites in my hip to drop down. And then I can lift my torso here. Another angle. Now you are trying to keep this foot flexed. Lift your hips up. Push this ankle towards the ceiling. Step that one back. Switch sides. Drop down. Now you're adjusting on this front leg as well. So once the ankle on the extended leg drops to the side where your pinky side edge is cutting into the mat, these toes are gonna go out at a 45 so that you're opening from the hip socket and keeping your knee in alignment with your second and third toes, and then you can drop yourself down. And with any of these, you wanna stop before you're at a point of pain. Right, whenever you can start feeling tension, like you're starting to get some signals of waking that part up, and then lift everything back. Your extended leg, turn ankle towards the ceiling, ankle towards your back foot on the leg that's in front of you, and then lift it up and put it back. So from here, you can pedal out, you can go head down, hips up, pressing back, letting your shoulder blades go on your back, releasing tension in your neck and shoulders. But from here, you can do this rotation. Sorry, it's cold in Georgia today. So, dropping ankles to the outside. You can get big side body stretches here as well. And you'll even be able to feel this if you kind of really look and get curious with the motion. You can get some stretches along the side body from the ankle up through the side of the hips, through the torso, and all the way through the arms and shoulders. So it's a little bit of a bigger offering for getting ready for the weekend. We have our big movement arts workshop, first one of the year, coming up tomorrow. We'll do 3 hours on Saturday afternoon, 1 to 4. And 2 hours on Sunday morning, 11 to 1. And thanks for your support and watching.